wanted to take some time to talk about Kusi actually, because
Yeah,
when we're talking about the history between these two. Recently, it's been Game 5 sets, right? Like Kusi took CakeAssault to Game 5 at Genesis, and that was the two of them taking turns running each other over. Like it wasn't a bunch of last hit games. It was they just each took turns having incredible reads, and also a Game 5 set online that Cake won as well. But in the quarantine era season, Kusi, in terms of RCS events, was undefeated against Cake. Like 100% set win rate. This is one of the players, aside from Penguin, I'd say my second highest bet for a player to take a set off of CakeAssault this tournament is Kusi.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
And so much of that was due to his Ori, right? Like making that switch from Krag to Ori and then playing this character at the level that was always theorized.
Oh, holds in a lot. Okay, gets out there.
Gets out just at the edge.
That's a side note.
Yeah.
I can't. The fact that the person who ran Skyline was the one who misinformed me, that's fine. I'm only a little salty.
It's all good, man.
Nah. All right. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen either of these two characters on screen today. Oh, I thought that was going to be a bash.
But that follow-up up air right afterwards is going to take a lot. And like this is the kind of scary thing about Kusi is his most recent thing has been integrating bash much more into his follow-ups. Because just the fear of the fact that he might go for a bash forces players to consider DIing out more often. And even if Kusi doesn't chase you, he then gets to edge guard you with Sign covering one option and Ori being super fast to cover everything else.
I love that. While Cake is getting back, Kusi just throws a light grenade in order to get rid of all that smoke. Does not matter though. Cake cleans it up and puts more smoke down for good measure.
And we're having Kusi focus on the smoke, especially on the side of the stage that he's trying to edgeguard Cake on. It's so scary to try to get rid of that smoke because you're throwing in an attack. You are whiffing, and then CakeAssault can be there to punish you right afterwards.
And the sign pop too? Oh, that was so smart. So much damage. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that. The sign will be charging, and you'll get up tilt, and then you'll pop sign out of it because up tilt doesn't quite lead into what you want it to. But if sign does it, oh, the world's your oyster. Kusi's movement is looking phenomenal right now.
I mean, Kusi's in the lead. We have Cake at death percent, Kusi only at 32.
That's not going to do it. Great DI on that up air.
I like that he unfurled the parachute while he was in the smoke because it got rid of it too.
There's little small things that you can do that a lot of people, like I didn't realize for a long time that you could unfurl the umbrella to break Krag pillar, things like that. There's very small things that you can do to really make stuff happen. Just keep rinse and repeating. 200 and is still alive.
And Kusi's not forcing the question. He recognizes that if he can just catch Cake coming out of his teleport, he can kill him off that, right?
Yep. Well, it's also that if I fish, if I overextend, I will likely die.
Now Kusi's starting off with, and waits for the parry too. Okay, this is going to be some damage for Cake, but I don't think he's going to be able to finish it. Oh, gets the down air spike to trade with the parasol, or the feather rather.
It's a parasol. We all. Ooh, the weight on the roll.
The fact that Cake like still occasionally mixes in I'm teleporting on top of you, right? Like, which is the most.
The bash.
The bash gets it. Yep. That's the win for Kusi, putting himself up already a game against CakeAssault.
As we say, Narrate 80 GGs.
Because like, the thing that's so important, too, is because they go to Game 5 so often, winning Game 1 means you're now at counterpick advantage in a set that is historically incredibly close, right? Like, this is giving him a huge edge now moving onward from here. Cake will have to win 2 games consecutively at some point.
Yep. And having counterpick advantage in this state is so important. So important. We said that everybody here can make that reverse 3-0, but man, you do not want to put that challenge on yourself if you don't have to.
Yeah. Ooh. Just going to get a parry to start things off for Cake. It looks like Kusi has just kind of forced himself into the corner. I think he's just trying not to rush to get out of there too soon. And Cake is
Good
still...
hit falling. That hitfall combo was so smart. Gets Cake right off stage. Doesn't take a whole ton of percent, but it was hopefully going to lead to an edge guard. I'd like the parasol to hit the clone.
I also just...
I didn't even see the clone there. Cool. Cool, I would have gotten hit by that.
Cake is so good at just deceiving people with Forsburn, right? Like, This is such an amazing
That'll
character to
kill.
play if you are
Oh, it
good at
doesn't.
playing the mind games.
It doesn't. I didn't realize that he had to go up a little bit to avoid the platform.
Cake's
No,
making-
it's funny because you'll talk to other people trying to play Forsburn and they're like, this clone doesn't do anything. You're never gonna get mixed up by this clone. It doesn't have good AI, and then Cake will hit you every time.
I am staggered that anyone could have that opinion in the year of 2022.
People still do.
Oh, waiting for a reaction there, and Kusi just like, nah, you haven't earned my fear right now. I'm jabbing.
That's gonna do it.
Kusi,
Okay.
though, still at 99% on Forest Floor. A down strong. Oh, yeah, that up strong would have definitely killed.
Up strong would have killed, but it is a hard move to connect with if that cape doesn't do first. And this thing. Oh my god. Okay.
None of us were ready for that.
The thing, Ori has that X factor with Bash of, like, sometimes you will just die at 50 to him.
I mean, the thing that I'm really thinking of, which is making me feel like none of this is too far behind for Kusi to count this game out, is we saw him rack up an absurd amount of % off a single edge guard on CakeAssault in the previous game. Like, we know if he gets Cake off stage, he can basically get the stock to last hit, if not finish it off right afterwards. I like the stall.
Dodge.
Yeah. Gets him closer and gets him waiting out for whatever Cake's next option is going to be. Takes out the... Oh!
That's going to do it.
The fact that Kusi was ready for Cake to not choose the smoke that was left behind by his clone, right? He was ready to catch the other teleport. That's really impressive.
Sign pop didn't hit there. The problem is Kusi's got to make something happen, whereas Cake can get one parry, one punish.
We sing these parries.
I know.
Right? He knows the reward. He gets just one down strong. He gets it, right? And Kusi's waiting out every single one of these. Tries to get the up strong, just barely out of range, and Cake will go ahead and take his back air.
That is as an Ori, that is a very cheesy up strong. But when it hits, there's literally nothing that feels better than, like, I just called out your jump and you're dead at 70 because you decided to run all the way into this.
And, like, especially at Forest Floor? Yeah, oh, yeah, that...
Oh, no, it's often worth going for. The problem is Cake was just ready.
Just
Cake was
slightly
ready.
off stage, right?
Yep.
That's the preparedness. And now this, this evens it up to 1-1, but that means this is Kusi's time for a counter pick. We have the bans from Cake. They're Rock Wall, Blazing Hideout, and Frozen Fortress. Stages with a lot of horizontal grounds on the stage, right? And it looks like Kusi just going for another stage with a ton of real estate. And this makes a ton of sense in terms of part of what makes Ori's neutral so hard to deal with. It's his speed combined with Sign, right? Because Sign is wherever Ori was a second ago. You charge that bomb, and you wave dash backwards, and you have this intangible hitbox basically coming out and threatening space, while Ori is meanwhile safe. So the more space that Ori has to back off and use that as his like baiting tool, the more basically the more currency he has.
That back air was so good. I know that's like the B&B, but I'm always very impressed by the turnaround bear there. Because it's good, it's B&B, but it's tighter timing than you would expect. Okay.
Kusi waiting,
just
getting the charge up.
Neutral. The charge doesn't hit.
Yeah, Cake is managing to escape just in time.
I mean, it's one of the things playing against Ori, you're not only worried about Ori, but the sign following up a second later. It's just wherever you were.
That was actually scary that Cake was looking for a kill at the same location. Kusi holding in, those who avoid it. Getting the up strong off the sign pop, that was nice.
And that's why I was saying there's a lot of things that are like, ooh, this move's not that great, until you sign pop into it, and then it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up that he can do 2v1 combos, right?
Why do you think I play the character?
Because you're an Icy's main.
Nah, I'm just a dual main specialist at this point. Or not dual main, a dual character.
Oh, finally able to get rid of that smoke, but eventually the damage is done, right? Cake is able to sneak back on stage.
Oh, that air dodge! That air dodge to get the little bit of extra space, it was so smart because he just didn't act out of it.
Cake recognizing that the second hit of up strong wasn't going to connect.
Whoever takes this next stock, it is crucial. And it's going to be Cake, so we're going to see what happens here. I think that was very important, unless you're able to get this right away, because the momentum is just so flowing in your favor now.
Kusi already sent off stage, manages to fight his way back, and yeah, focuses first on clearing that smoke.
Up air goes the wrong way. Did a little bit of a cross up.
Ooh, air dodging past that clone pop, that was actually scary. But the CakeAssault up cape's going to do the trick right there. That clone pop could have just sent Kusi just up just for a back air right afterwards, right? So it was really important to not get hit by that. But now with CakeAssault taking those 2 games, he's the one with counter pick advantage.
Yeah. Kusi has taken that game, but the ones that Cake's taken have just looked pretty solid.
Not, like, so far not shutouts, though.
No,
right?
not insurmountable, not shutouts, but man, I feel like the CakeAssault is happening. It is revving up that engine that we talk about so often, the way that momentum tends to work in Rivals.
When we're already at 73% on Ori, like this character, light as a feather, because literally
As a feather.
a leaf rather, yeah.
that thing.
Yeah, it's the feather of trees, right?
Yep. Man, I need to play the Ori games again. They're so good.
They actually are amazing. Goes for the down strong that time to catch that drift out.
Well, because Kusi had been going for that drift out to avoid the up strong like several times before that, so Cake mixing it up is so smart. The pop.
Yeah. And now, I mean, Cake has full stacks of smoke here. Oh, okay, that bash is going to kill. Yep.
What were you saying?
Yeah,
full,
I mean...
Full stacks of smoke?
Yeah, full stacks of smoke. It can help with the recovery. It can lead to a very early stock, but bash also leads to a very, very early stocks.
God, those nairs.
This is
nairs. No one does them better.
The thing that's in the back of my mind with Smoke, like, it's already annoying against most opponents to not know where they are, but then you're playing against CakeAssault's neutral, and you don't know where he is. And just, that is such a nightmare situation on its own, even without the knowledge that he might have a clone somewhere in that Smoke, too.
It's CakeAssault's neutral, which is phenomenal, but also Cake uses clone better than anybody else. Good tech.
Yep.
Good, not just good tech, but good tech option afterwards. Because a lot of people will jump out and then they'll get hit again.
Right, and just being able to do that ledge dash right afterwards, yeah. We see top players like develop like specific counter strategies to deal with that.
Yep.
And Kusi now having the lead. We haven't seen this in a bit.
Just the dash dance on the flat. It's so scary. He's just wiggling.
I mean, having unpredictable movement with the character this fast, right? That's a huge part of like Kusi's success.
You have to do it. You have to make the speed threatening. So a lot of people are like, yeah, I can just do whatever. It's like, yeah, but you keep doing the same thing.
Yes, yeah.
Or you're just holding back. You're never mixing it up. You're not doing. Dude, this stock has been so good.
And Kusi holds back the moment that Cake lands on that platform and has a chance to continue. Waits for a parry, and CakeAssault is not parrying at all there.
No, I don't know if we've. Okay. All right. What are we seeing?
Earlier in the set, remember CakeAssault was parrying over and over again to try to get those down strongs, and like Kusi was like waiting for that, and now Cake isn't parrying at all. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, the waveland.
It really looks like Kusi's just trying to catch a parry, and CakeAssault is refusing to lose to a baited parry. And there, finally the parry at the very end, and that's what does it. CakeAssault yelling yes with that win.
He knew. That went to game 5. That was. Oh my God. Also, getting that the follow up into the down strong there on the plat was so tricky.
Yeah.
Because that was just flew up to get that. I mean, if you're Kusi, you've got to be feeling rough about the way that ended.
Because like the thing is like that's just what really incredible like mental game is, right? Because like Kusi was convinced based on prior evidence, like Cake gets nervous in these situations. Maybe not nervous, right? But like looks for a parry for me trying to push my advantage too hard, and then we'll try to down strong me off of that. So I will just wait a little bit for those parry gaps. And Cake didn't touch that button for like the entire stock. Like, Kusi gave many opportunities for that, right? We even saw when Cake teleported on stage, right? Kusi went for an up strong. If there was a parry there, parry would have ended up strong. I think would have picked up CakeAssault right afterwards. But instead, Cake just rolled, right? Refused to give that. And then after you see that so many times, you're like, I'm just going to press the button immediately. And at the exact moment where Kusi makes that adjustment, the parry came out. Right?
Like, no, it's one of those things where if you have like, oh, this is super back and forth, but I've got one read, and I know that I can fall back on this just in case I really need to clean something up.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped.
Yeah.
He just stopped.
Oh, man. And guys, we've been having such an incredible time watching the first half of this top 8. We're going to go to a quick ad, but don't go anywhere. more incredible play is coming up right around the corner. Who knows what's going to happen next? We're seeing some players give some of the best play of their whole lives right now.
Absolutely. No, this is still anyone's business. This is still anybody's game. We will be right back.